Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So today's video has sparked a conversation on TikTok and everybody's talking about it, and that's why I'm bringing it, because I said I wasn't going to post another video on this whole 50-50 influencer. Like, I stay away from those type of videos, but take a look.
Men are expected to pay all the bills. Men are expected to pay for all the dates. Men are expected to pay for your nails, hair, all these things. In today's economy,
it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so the thought is, it's like, why is that the norm? Why is that the expectation? What does a provider mean? Like, in my opinion, a provider doesn't mean someone who's going to pay financially for everything. That's not a provider to me.
Okay, so the guy in brown, his name is Jalen. I can't even pronounce his name. And he's an influencer or content creator, right? And his girlfriend is also a big content. They are both big content creators, but I think the lady has, is bigger than him. So he went on a podcast and they were throwing his questions at him, and he was, giving his own opinion about the whole thing. And he said that, that is the clip that everybody's talking about. But for context, you can check out the Dawn Trip podcast. I think they're on YouTube. You can see the full video. But this has sparked a conversation on TikTok, and everybody's talking about it. Some people agree with him, others do not agree with him, okay? But I would like to know what you think about what he said. Now, if you get the chance, you can watch their podcast, so for context, so you understand, why this was said, if it makes sense. So people came to share their thoughts and opinions, and I'm going to play some of the videos of what people had to say about what he said about that, and I'm going to come back and talk some more.
Men are expected to pay all the bills. Men are expected to pay for all the dates. Men are expected to pay for your nails, hair, all these things. In today's economy,
it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so the thought is, it's like, why is that the norm? Why is that the expectation? What does a provider mean? Like, in my opinion, a provider doesn't mean someone who's going to pay financially for everything. That's not a provider to me.
The comment section was filled with comments like, Monet, this man is out here embarrassing you. Girl, we didn't know you were struggling like this. Blink twice if you need help. If you have a public relationship and you don't want unsolicited opinions on your relationship, do not speak about the intimate details of your life publicly. They could have been going 50-50 this whole time and it been working for the both of them. But I feel like some people believe that relationships should be one size fits all. But I don't think that it should be. I'm not against 50-50 relationships. What I'm against is a woman who doesn't want to split bills with a man, being with a man who's forcing her into that dynamic, and that's not what she wants. I want women to get what they want always. If you want a provider man who takes care of all the bills, that's what I want for you. If you want to be single, that's what I want for you. If you want a loving relationship where you split bills with your man, that's what I want for you. I want whatever it is that you want. And if this is what she wants, more power to her. But them trying to act as if, well, see, all of y'all talking about how you want a loving, caring man who's attentive and in touch with his feelings, has emotional intelligence and all of that, and she has that, and now y'all talking about money? Girl, some of us want both. Some of us get both. If she's in a relationship that she doesn't feel like she's settling or compromising to be in, then that's all I would want for her or any other woman. Now, this part is going to be an unpopular opinion, but some people live vicariously through their favorite influencers. And you're taking it personal, but honey, that's not your man. His behavior doesn't have to work for you. That's Monet's man. It works for Monet.
I'm tired of seeing black women's pretty light-skinned boyfriend or husband go on podcasts and simply embarrass them. I'm really tired of seeing it. I can't see it again. I don't want to see Jalen talking about, well, what is really a provider? Like, shit is expensive, and he's 31, dating someone 24. And he's like, you gotta pay for her nails. You gotta pay for her hair. Stingy men used to be a lot quieter. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like they're almost trying to prove something about them being the prize by saying, it's just not super fair. Like, in this economy where you have capitalized off your pretty boyness and are also capitalizing off your girlfriend, and your entire career is social media, and you're a pretty boy and you put a lot of effort into your looks, and your page says weaponize incompetence while you're making a flower bouquet, and you're going to talk about in this economy that you've capitalized. What? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a little bit insane, and it's like, you want us to know that you feel too good to pay. You want us to know that you feel like you're a little bit of the prize. And if he feels that it's fair for a 24-year-old to be providing for him or even equal to him when he also is a man, so he has a leg up, and then he has about 6 years on her, or 7, sorry, I'm bad at math. We're not talking about an equal playing field to begin with, and bringing in the childbearing, woman-killing aspect of it all. Do men not understand how insulting it is to be like, oh yeah, well, once you put yourself and your entire life in danger, then I can understand paying for your dinner. Mind you, it's dangerous for you to walk outside and be alone at night, and it's expensive for you to show up for the date. But once you put yourself in a life-threatening situation, then we can talk about providership. Once you provide me of an heir. Seriously, Game of Thrones type shit. Especially when it comes from pretty boys, I really hate when they're complaining about like the expenses of upkeep, because you know what that's about. And also I really, really hate when they bring it into childbearing. They're like, well, once she bears a child for me, then the finances make sense. Because once she fulfills her worth and duty, then it all makes sense. So to go on a podcast when you know that people know who you're dating, you know that people are going to talk about your relationship and basically say, yeah, I don't really pay. And that, I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I'm not in their relationship. All I know is I wish he was more quiet about it. Whatever they were doing, like, I wish men knew how their words in their relationships are going to reflect on their women, specifically in the Black community. And I don't know why they are comfortable going on podcasts and embarrassing their girlfriend. That bothers me. Whatever your private finances are, I actually don't need to know, but you want us to know. That is the thing, is that he wants us to know. Kind of similar to Mr. Biles. He feels like enough of the prize that he can say that. Do you know what I mean?
Y'all can call me a pick-me, but I don't think what Jalen Noble said was wrong. I think that is crazy to think somebody's going to enter your life and take on all your bills, and then you label him a provider as a reward. I think that is unfair, and I think it is irresponsible and illogical. When somebody comes into your life, you want them to come into your life as a partner, somebody who tackles financial and emotional life together with you, somebody who says, oh, you don't got it? I got it. Don't worry about it this month. And then if something happens for them, you say, baby, I got you this month. Don't worry about it. Never should you ever expect somebody to physically carry all of the burden. Now, don't mix that up with 50-50, because that's not what I'm talking about. 50-50 is actually not 50-50. It's 150. 100 for the woman and 50 for the man. I'm talking about a partner, somebody who tackles every facet of your relationship together, including financial. Y'all gotta stop letting social media trick y'all into these unrealistic expectations. That's all I know.
Y'all, I have been waiting to talk about this for a long time, and this Jalen situation is so perfect. I have always had a theory about why men in their 30s date younger women, especially girls in their 20s. Because I remember watching a couple of my exes who were like in their early 30s date young 20-year-old girls, and I was like, ew, why are you dating a child? Because whether the intentions are bad or not, that age gap is automatically going to cause for some grooming. But what it also does that people don't realize is it buys men time. If a 30-year-old man is dating a 30-year-old woman who has her shit together and is mature and is making her own money, then the expectation to be a provider is way, way, way higher. A 20-year-old girl is enjoying the fact that she's independent and making her own money and can do for herself. And she's young, so she's not putting the same kind of pressure on her man. Because really for her, the clock's not ticking, it just started. But men don't really peak until their 40s. Unlike women who by 30 usually have their stuff together and are quick to kind of, if you can't do for me, why are we even together? They also want babies and they want marriage. So what do men do? They date younger because it makes them more comfortable. And truthfully, I don't really see anything wrong with that. I think we're going to have to start getting a lot more comfortable with age gaps in general. And I don't think that grooming is necessarily a bad thing, because if two people are consenting and neither one of them are manipulating each other intentionally and there's love at the foundation, then there's nothing wrong with the relationship. And the younger person's going to have to learn anyway, right? So why not be from a partner? But I'm glad that that interview happened, because I have been trying to find a way to articulate this. Is Jalen wrong? No. But that's why he has a young, successful woman that's not pressuring him.
Nails, hair, all these things. In today's economy,
It's a lot of money.
it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so the thought is, it's like, why is that the norm? Why is that the expectation?
Okay, I hope y'all are ready to be in for a wild ride because I can't seem to get this take short. So at the beginning of this clip and the end of this clip, he's talking about drizzle, drizzle and sprinkle, sprinkle movement. If you don't know what that is, I'll explain it a little bit later. But what he's saying and the inquiry that he's making is, why are men responsible for bearing the financial burden of relationships? Why are men having to pay for things? Why are men having to take care of things? Why are women expecting to be taken care of? This is what happens when you don't research these different gender dynamics, racial dynamics, sexuality dynamics. All of these things have a history that has led us to the present. If you just wake up tomorrow, go look outside and observe what's going on, okay, maybe you'll look and be like, hey, why are these women asking for these things? Why do these women just out of the sudden, out of the blue, for no reason, start requiring men to pay for things? No, that if you just wake up and look at it, yes, that's what you'll see. But if you research, you'll understand that the history dictated that this was going to be the outcome. Women used to be property, objects. They couldn't own bank accounts. They couldn't own homes. They couldn't vote. They couldn't participate in society. They couldn't even inherit their father's wealth. Their father had to give her away to the groom so that he can give her husband his money, right? And so there's been a long history of women trying to fight to not be in those positions, okay? And that's the reason that this dynamic exists, right? Men, for some reason, decided that that was okay. And now I'm telling you that that's an old, antiquated system that we shouldn't adhere to and that we should be fighting out of, because what it does is it pigeonholes men into one role and it pigeonholes women into another role. Now, this is the shaky part about it. Even if patriarchy was dismantled, if a woman were to choose to be in that traditional role and a man were to choose to be in that provider role, that is perfectly fine. The problem is that the system pigeonholes people to be in it who don't desire to. And when women don't desire to be in it and they're in it, that's a problem. And when men don't desire to be in it and they're in it, that's a problem. So dismantling the system is about giving men and women the freedom to choose how they want to exist. Now, I think the problem with that is we really haven't sat down as men and decided what we really want this to look like with the new changes. I think a lot of men are still looking at that old system. A lot of women are still looking at that old system, and they're okay with being pigeonholed in it. As a matter of fact, that's one of the roughest parts of this journey that I've been on, is understanding that like everybody can't go. Everybody does not have the vision to dismantle this system. Everybody does not have the vision to remove those roles from men and those roles from women, because when you fully adhere to the system, if you're a good man for patriarchy and a good woman for patriarchy, those systems work for you. You'll be fine with it. But everybody is not fine with it. So what he's saying is not a problem, in the sense that we do need to be questioning and challenging how we have to fit into these roles, because there's a lot of men in society telling women who don't want to be in these roles that this is what you're supposed to be. And there's a lot of men who don't want to be in these roles who have women telling them that you're supposed to be in this role. And so my idea of it is getting out of it by dismantling it and figuring out how to find your people. My people is not traditional. My people is not, power, and my people is equitable relationship. Those are the people I need to be talking to. I'm afraid that that old antiquated system has such a hold on everybody right now that what it's forcing everybody to do is say, no, all y'all supposed to be like this. And no, all y'all supposed to be like that. That's what it's doing. And it's creating this discord that we see all over the place. So as it pertains to the drizzle and the Shara 7 movement, and the sprinkle movement, Shara 7 is a person who does this sprinkle thing. And the reality is she fully leans into what patriarchy is. She is patriarchy. So you would think that the men who lean into that traditional masculine role would be okay with it. The problem is she's too brazen. Like, it seems like the men who want women who know or believe that they have to take care of women have to have a certain level of humility about it. Because again, she's saying all the things that men say that they are supposed to do for women. The men that say, hey, women want 6 feet, 6 figures, and 6 inches. And that's what we got to get if we want to take care of women. Men are saying the same thing that she's saying. I just think that men are offended because she's asking for it the way she's asking. So drizzle became a movement where it's like, we're making fun of these women because of these things that they're asking for. But the drizzle movement is missing understanding the history of how it came about. And I guess my other criticism of the drizzle movement is I don't actually know what they want. my deduction is that they want to be a provider and they just want women to be humble and accept what men will give them peacefully. But I don't know. They may actually want to be in equitable relationships. You know, in that way, yeah, I thought that Drizzle always had the potential to trip and fall into the right conversation, but I don't know if it's actually a satirical take on what women do, or if it's a genuine shift towards not having to be pigeonholed into those roles. Again, that's tripping and falling into the right conversation, but falling into the right conversation for the wrong reason still ain't productive. And so we still have to be having a conversation about patriarchy in order to get to a place to know how this came about so that we can have conversations. I think another piece is, I think a lot of men want women to be in the roles that they want them to be in, despite anything that those women want. You know, another thing is, all of these people exist in different quadrants. There are some men who want this and some men who don't. There are some women who want this and some women who don't. There are some men who are intoxicated by patriarchy and some men who aren't. There are some women who are intoxicated by patriarchy and some women who aren't. There are some men who want the best parts of patriarchy but not the worst parts. There are some women who want the best parts of patriarchy but not the worst parts. Like, these are different quadrants of people. We have to find our people, the people who tend to us. We can't just say, well, because I want you to adhere to everything the way I want to. We as men especially, we have to get more comfortable with saying, oh, okay, so you're not going to meet the needs that I have for this thing that I desire. And so we gonna have to part ways. We got to get better with doing that. We can't just choose somebody we like because we like them and then expect them to adhere to these systems that we are participating in. But if I keep talking, this video going to be 25 minutes. And so I appreciate y'all for listening. Give me some feedback. Let's have a conversation about it because we need to talk about this.
So I agree with all of them because everybody is entitled to their own opinion, okay? As for me, the whole 50-50 thing, whatever floats your boat. If 50-50 works for you and your relationship, that's fine. If having a provider is what you want, then that's fine, all right? Everybody do what favors them or what floats their boat. That's your relationship. So nobody can tell how a relationship should go. A relationship is never a one size fit all. Okay. So yeah, that's my take on that. But my problem is when you try to turn a duck into a chicken, like it's not going to work. Okay. So let's say your girl, as always, or the girl you're interested in is always talking about how they want to provide a man, and you somehow end up in a relationship with them and you want to get them into becoming a 50-50 type of girl. You know what I mean? That is not right. Or you try to shame them into conforming and becoming the 50-50 type of girl. Or you are into like boss babes type of girls who like run the show and rule the world, and you end up with, not a boss babe, like a girl who is more traditional, and you try to make her into a boss babe and try to shame her into, feeling so small about herself. Now that's when I have a problem. But if the two of you agree that this is what works for your relationship and you have tested and tried it and it's working for you, then that's fine. As for the part of him being very much older than the lady, that's questionable. Okay, because she's younger, he's older, and it kind of sounds like she does more financially in the relationship, and that's why people are like, do you know what I mean? It's almost like he's flexing about the whole thing and trying to make other men realize that, hey, I've got it good here, I've got a woman who takes care of me. The truth of the matter is there's so many men out there who are in this type of relationship dynamic, and they don't talk about it because maybe the woman makes more. Yeah, because I think towards the end of the episode on that podcast, I heard him talk about his sister and her relationship with a guy who was not happy because she was going to be making more money than him, and because she's in the medical field, she's going to be making a lot of money, right? And I feel like a lot of guys use that to kind of manipulate their relationships. Like they will come to you with this whole, I have sisters who are doing so well and they're even taking care of their partners and they make a lot of money and so on and so forth, to get you to become like that sister, if you know what I mean, right? To manipulate you into feeling like you also have to become a provider for this type of guy. And there are guys like that. All right. So when he said that, I was like, I've heard this story before. The girlfriend is 5 or 6 years younger than him, right? So he kind of has much more experience than her, and he knows how to work the relationship to his favor, if you know what I mean. But I may be wrong. So if the lady likes it, like Miss Shonda said, if she loves it, we like it for her, okay? Because she's the one in the relationship. If she's not complaining and she's happy with him and their relationship dynamic, then that's on them, all right? But him asking or acting like he doesn't understand why someone would expect someone, well, that's not your relationship, so you won't understand it, all right? If people are set their standards or what they require out of a relationship, allow them. Do you understand? And live and let live. That's all. But anyway, let me know your thought about all of this in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.